Good. Inhale, the shoulders up. Exhale, down and back. Good. Inhale, lifting the shoulders up. And exhale, down and back. Good. Last one, inhaling up. And exhale, squeezing the shoulder blades down and back. And just close the eyes gently as you sit up nice and tall in this easy sitting position. I want you to fill up into your belly, your chest, and into the low throat as you breathe in, feeling the breath rising all the way up. And then exhale as it eases out the throat, chest, and belly lap. Let's do that again. Inhale, filling up with the belly, feeling the full expansion all the way up into the chest and low throat. And exhaling, feeling the breath ease its way back down, rooting into your sit bones. Good. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale. Lift the chin up high. Chin up towards the sky. And exhale, nod the head down towards your heart. Inhale, lifting the head up. See if you can feel the crown of your head reaching up even taller. So we're not just letting the head fall back, but we're lifting up through the neck muscles. Exhale and let the head tilt forward and down. Good. Inhale again, lifting up. And exhaling forward and down. Good. And inhaling back up to your neutral spine. Hands come to the front of your knees or shins. You're going to inhale, rock to the front of your pelvis. So just like we were doing with our head, I want you to feel like you're moving into that seated cat-cow. So your spine is going to tip and move forward. Head lifts up and back. And then exhale, round through your tail. Feel your low back reach away from you. Chin moves into chest. Inhale as you rock forward, lift up. Shoulder blades squeeze. And then exhale, round through the spine, squeezing from the abdomen, leaning back. Good. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, curling back. This is a really great exercise for us to do, even if we're just seated in our chair at our desk. We can do this with our hands resting on our knees, like so, and just go through these seated cat-cows. Good. A couple more. Good. And then sitting up nice and tall. Let's inhale. Take just your right arm up towards the sky. And notice how my right palm is facing towards the left side of the room. The thumb is pointed back. I want you to bend the elbow and pat yourself on the back. So you're patting yourself on that right shoulder, same side. Good. Left hand's going to come up and over, and you're going to grab a hold of that right elbow. See if you can pull the elbow straight back. It's not going behind the head, but it's going straight back. Good. You might feel a little bit more of that restriction. And now if you can move your hand to the outside of the elbow, left hand to the outside of the elbow, push your elbow towards the right into your hand and let your hand resist. Yeah, it should feel a little bit deeper stretch there. The right elbow is going towards the right. The left hand is stopping it from going there. Good. And gently release the arms all the way down. Whew. Good. Inhale. Reach the left arm forward. Thumb comes up. Thumb points back behind you. Palm is facing towards the right side. Bend the elbow and pat yourself on the left shoulder. And then you're going to reach your right hand up and over, pulling the elbow towards the back. Straight back if you can. It's okay if your right arm is a little bit higher. Maybe you're in front of the shoulder, right in front of the forehead. And as you feel that, Keep reaching your left fingertips down that left shoulder. And now I want you to grab a hold of the outside of the elbow. Left elbow goes to the left. Resist with your right hand. Good. I'm feeling that nice deep stretch there. Good. And gently release. Ooh. All right. Let's come up onto all fours into our tabletop position. If you need a towel for your knees, feel free to place it directly underneath. All right, and so we're going to do something that's known as shoulder blade push-ups. Okay, it's actually rather subtle. Okay, so the movement is not very drastic, but you're going to see a little bit of movement of my torso going up and down. So when I lower my chest down, so I'm lowering it towards my elbows stay straight the whole time, my shoulder blades squeeze, and they kind of come together. Then I'm going to send the shoulder blades apart, retracting them. Good. And I'm just pushing into the ground, almost like you're pushing into a door that says pull. Right? All right. Now let the shoulder blades squeeze together. You're allowing your chest to sink down, but I'm not dipping in through the low belly. So Michelle, see if you can tip your belly a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So it's just into the shoulder blades. Good. So the shoulder blades dip. Yes, there it is. And then pressing into those hands, shoulder blades move apart. I know that the push-up kind of gives it this this feeling like I got to do some like really deep, heavy work. Okay, but it's very subtle work. Okay, so you're pushing away and letting the shoulder blades squeeze, and then pushing away and letting them squeeze together. Pushing and feeling like you're pulling your chest through your arms. And one more, pushing and pulling. Good. All right. Let's come back to a neutral where you feel like your shoulder blades are on your back, but they're not sliding away from each other. Now I want you to bring your right hand forward, reaching it out a good 6 to 8 inches or so. I want you to dip down and just stretch all the way down, chest towards the ground. Left forearm is going to come across, and so it's going to be parallel to the front edge of the mat. Now I'm going to show you what my left arm looks like. Okay. And then my right arm's going to be forward. So this is called half dog or half puppy pose. Okay, it's a variation of puppy pose, and we're going to get into puppy pose a little bit deeper later on. But you're going to feel this big stretch as your tail is reaching straight up to the sky. Your thighs are vertical, and your hips are still stacked above your knees. Good, and your head is just resting on that left arm. Wonderful. Pressing down into your left arm and your right hand, you're going to come back up and switch sides. So right forearm is going to come parallel to the front edge of the mat. Fingertips are facing the left wall. Left hand reaches forward. You're going to dip down with your chest and try to move your head on top of your right forearm. And if you need to adjust where you placed your right arm, that's okay. Just work until you feel that. I'm personally feeling this right in that middle upper back. Okay, so right in the thoracic spine, where the back ribs are. The shoulder blades are squeezing together. I'm also feeling this a little bit in my left shoulder. And the shoulder is more so like on the outside of the shoulder, kind of the outer portion of the armpit. You might be feeling this in the top of your shoulders. Maybe you're feeling this in the front of your chest. Or maybe you're even feeling this in your hips with that deep anterior tilt of the pelvis, that 6 o'clock tilt. And you might even feel that the breath is able to expand more, especially on that inhalation. Wonderful. Pressing into your right arm, left hand. Come back up and let's make our way into our downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, hips reach up and back. Ooh, so good, so good. All right, just pedaling out through your feet, marching through those heels up and down. And sway your head side to side. Release any tension in the neck, mouth, and jaw. Good, and then walking your feet forward to the top edge of the mat, let's come into our standing forward fold. Knees bend enough so the belly can touch onto the thighs. Good, and then letting those arms drape down towards the ground. Hips are reaching up nice and high. Good, big full breath here. Good, last full breath. And then round the spine as you exhale, roll yourself up like you're going right into your cat pose. And just feel the articulation of the spine, each vertebra stacking on top of the other until the head stacks directly above the shoulders, making your way into your mountain pose, the template of all postures. Wink, wink, hint, hint, nod, nod. All right, so standing in your mountain pose at the top of your mat for your sun salutations. We're going to do 2 rounds of our classical sun salutations as we've been doing, and then you have the option to do the back bending version that we were doing beforehand, okay? So that one gets a lot of opening in the pelvis and the front of the chest and starts to warm you up pretty nicely, doesn't it? All right, so standing in your mountain pose, feet directly underneath your body, shoulders stacked above the hips. Let's inhale, circle the arms wide and high, lifting up, upward hand salute. Exhale, fold in half, standing forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back, lunge, hips down, chest lifts, looking up. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, cobra, heart lifts, tops of feet press into the ground. Exhale, bow and send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward, top edge of the mat, hips are down, chest lifts, looking up and smiling. Good, and exhale, left foot forward, standing forward fold, head drops down. Inhale, reverse the swan dive, so coming up with that flat back, hands to the sky, and exhale to mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, left foot back, lunge. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shoulders over the wrists, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, bow and send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, lunge. Exhale, right foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, reverse the swan dive, come up, upward hand salute. Exhale to mountain pose. All right, so the option to go into that back bending variation. Inhale, reach the arms forward, weight in the toes. Hips go out in front of you as the arms reach up and back. Exhale, hinging all the way down, hands to the ground. Inhale, right foot back, knee to the mat, arms sweep forward, up and back, keeping your hips forward. Good, exhale, downward facing dog, hands to the floor, stepping back, left foot meets the right. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, bow, send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward all the way, top edge of the mat, knee to the ground, left knee, arms reach up and back. Exhale, standing forward fold, hands touch the ground, Left foot meets the right. Head drops. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, diving forward. Let the hands sweep all the way down. Inhale, left foot back, knee to the mat. Arms sweep forward, up and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower, send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, top edge of the mat, get it all the way there. Right knee to the ground, arms reach forward, up and back. Exhale, hands to the ground, stepping forward, right foot meets the left, standing forward, fold. Inhale, reach the arms forward, lift up, weight in the toes. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, right foot back, knee to the mat, arms reach forward, up and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower, send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, lunge. Left knee to the mat, arms reach forward, up and back. Exhale, standing forward, fold. Left foot meets the right, head drops. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, come up, lean back. Exhale, standing forward, fold. Inhale, left foot back, knee to the mat. Arms go forward, up and back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower, send it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, arms go forward, up and back. Good, exhale, standing forward, fold, right foot meets the left. Inhale, reach the arms forward, lift up. Exhale to stand, arms come down by your side. Take a full breath in, deep breath out. Another full breath. Good. And inhale, sweep the arms up, all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, let the hands fall down and back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Take the knuckles down and away from your hips as you reach your hips forward. Open up the front of the body. Exhale, hinging forward. Shoulder blades sliding together. Knuckles reaching up and overhead. Good. Bowing the head forward and down. Let the hands come to your buttocks. Slide all the way down to your ankles. Bend your knees, sink your hips, and reach your arms up for chair pose. Good. Setting weight back into your heels. Inner thighs are actively pulling in towards each other, keeping them working. All four corners of your feet are touching down. Exhale, fold in half. Belly to thighs, hips lift high, head drops low. Inhale, flat back, lift halfway. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, walk the feet back into plank position. And exhale, lower all the way down to the floor as one piece. Try not to belly flop. It happens though. All right, take the hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Little review from last week, locust pose. So you're gonna take your knuckles up off of your hips, lift the chest, lift the legs, reaching long through your heart out in front of you. Keep those knuckles reaching back. Good. Squeeze from those inner thighs. Take another full breath here. And deep breath out. Inhale. And exhale. Lower all the way down. Press the hands underneath your shoulders. Push up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky, back behind you, down dog splits. Exhale, right foot forward between the thumbs. A little review, front stance position, warrior one. And I want you to take your left toes a little to the left, spin the left heel down so the toes are facing about 10 o'clock position. You're gonna keep the bend in right knee as the arms reach forward and up to the sky. Good. Your hips are facing the front edge of the mat. So keep that left hip wrapping around towards your right foot. Belly is facing forward. Good. You're going to sweep the fingertips across the floor and then take the hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Slide the knuckles down as you lift the chest up, lean back. Good. And then exhale, bow forward again with the knuckles reaching all the way up towards the sky. Inhale, sweep the hands forward and come all the way up. Warrior one. Exhale, hands sweep the floor and take the knuckles down and back. Inhale, lifting up, knuckles drop, heart lifts. Exhale, bowing the head down, knuckles reach up and overhead. Inhale, sweep the hands forward, coming up, warrior one. And one more time, exhale, sweep the hands down, taking the hands back, interlace the fingers, knuckles up. Inhale, lift the chest, lifting up. Exhale, bowing forward. Keeping this movement in the pelvis if you can. Inhale, coming up, arms sweep forward and all the way up to the sky. Back into your warrior one. Good. And then exhale, bring your hands to your hips. We're gonna make our way into our warrior three. So a little balancing pose review. I want you to bring your belly forward on top of your thigh. Lean forward, float the left leg up towards the sky, keeping that back leg to be horizontal. Your torso as horizontal as you can. Hands can be on your hips, at your heart, or even stretched out in front of you. Warrior three. Good. Bend your right knee, step the left foot back, lifting up for warrior one, and then exhale. The hands come all the way down to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. And then inhale, take your left leg up and back behind you, reach it up towards the sky. Down dog splits, and then exhale. Left foot steps forward between the thumbs. Good. With the left foot forward, we want to hop the right toes to the right, about a couple inches, and slightly forward as you spin the right heel down. Toes are facing 2 o'clock with this left foot forward. Bend in that left knee. Sweep the arms forward, coming up, warrior one. So again, this is a front stance position because our pelvis is facing the front. Good. And then exhale, sweep the hands across the floor, interlace the fingers. Good, knuckles up. Inhale, press into the left foot. Lift the chest up as the knuckles slide down the back leg. Exhale, bowing forward, knuckles reach high, and maybe bring them all the way overhead. Inhale, sweep the hands across the ground, come all the way back up again, warrior one. Exhale, hands sweep across the ground, interlace the fingers, knuckles up. Inhale, lifting up, knuckles down the back leg, lift the chest. Exhale, bow, knuckles high, head low. Inhale, sweep the hands forward, come up. We'll do one more round like that. Exhale, sweep forward and down. Interlace the fingers, knuckles up. Inhale, lifting up, knuckles down the back leg. And then exhale, folding over that bent left knee. Inhale, sweep the hands forward, come all the way up. Back into your warrior one. You should be getting pretty warm, yes? Thumbs up, good. All right, you have your options of hand placement. I'm gonna be with my hands on my hips. I'm not feeling as balanced today. I want you to tip forward, belly over the thigh. Lean out in front of you, going into your warrior three. Maybe dragging that back leg, floating the right foot up so it's level with your hip. Good. Spine reaches forward. Good. Crown reaches in the opposite direction of your right foot. So keeping that body actively working. And then sending that right foot down as you bend the left knee, arms come up, warrior three. Exhale, downward facing dog, hands to the ground, left foot meets the right, hips are nice and high. Good, and then inhale, come forward into your plank position, shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground again. Take the hands back behind you. Again, locust pose. Lift the heart, lift the thighs, shoulder blades squeeze together, away from your neck. Good, and then exhale, lower all the way down. Send it back, child's pose. All right, rising up onto all fours. We're gonna go into puppy pose. So we did like a half puppy earlier on with one elbow bent across to kind of give that half position. But the full puppy pose, we're gonna walk both of our hands out in front of us. And we're gonna dip our chest down towards the floor. The fingertips lengthen out in front of you. You're gonna bring either the forehead, the chin, which is a little bit deeper, or even the chest down to the ground. And I'm not gonna be able to get my chest all the way down. Not today. And probably not in this lifetime, personally. All right. You still want your arms to be lengthening out in front of you, your hips stacked above your knees, tail flips up high, getting you that perky tail. And we're trying to share the length and the curve of the spine all throughout. Now, if you'd like to come into a deeper variation of this posture, you have your options by bringing your elbows a little bit closer, palms come together, and then you're going to bend the elbows and bring the hands into that prayer shape above your head. From here, you allow the chest to dip and sink down towards the ground. And yes, it's pretty deep. So make sure that this feels like it's comfortable for you to breathe here. And breathing through your lungs nice and wide. And then releasing. If your elbows are bent, extend them out in front of you and bring them parallel. If they're not, just keep them where they are. We're going to slide our shoulders forward over your elbows and then come down onto your belly into our Sphinx pose. We may need to make little adjustments here and there. Again, we want to keep that upper arm vertical, the elbows directly underneath the shoulder, and the forearms are going to be straight out in front of us. Lift your right leg up off the floor about an inch or so, reaching through the toes, and then lower the leg down to feel more space in that hip. Try to keep your ankles about hip distance apart. So a little bit closer with those ankles, Michelle. Yeah, there you go. Good. And then the same thing with the left leg, lifting the leg up and lowering it down. Just needs to feel like the thigh and that hip junction is not compressed or stuck. All right, press down through those elbows. You feel your shoulder blades move. Now feel your shoulder blades come together like we were doing with that shoulder blade touch. But I want you to still feel your elbows pressing into the ground and your chest lengthening forward. Good. Head lifts up towards the sky. Keep pressing down through the tops of the feet. Good. Full breath in and out through the nose. This is Sphinx pose. Good. And then bringing your hands together, elbows splay wide, forehead rest on top of your stacked hands. And just breathe. Good. Coming back into our Sphinx pose, we're going to move right into our one-legged frog as we did before. You're going to set yourself up. Left forearm is going to be at a diagonal. Bend your right knee. Grab a hold of the foot with your right hand and squeeze the foot towards your bottom. See if you can get your hand to come onto the top of the foot. The elbow points up towards the sky, and then you can get that leverage. Oh, Tiffany, bring your left elbow underneath you a little bit closer. There you go. And now you can get more height as you push down. You might be able to get more leverage with that right hand to push down. There you go. Nice. And then keep your heart moving towards the front of the room. I know it's tempting to kind of turn towards the right leg. See if you can spin your chest forward. You're going to get a very deep stretch in that right pec for some of us. There we go. And same thing, Michelle. Bring your left elbow a little bit closer underneath you. There we go. So there's more height, and then you can get that leverage for it. Good. Good, and then switching sides, gently release the right leg, right elbow down underneath your shoulder for that height. Forearm is at a diagonal, bend your left knee, grab a hold of the foot with left hand, and squeeze the foot towards the butt. I can say butt now that my son is out of the room. Good, elbow up towards the sky if you can. Keep pushing down to lift up with your spine. Yes. Good. A few more deep breaths here. Just working into that left quadricep and hip flexor. These are the areas of the body that get really tight from sitting, even sleeping, because most of us sleep in a rather curled position. Good. And release. Okay. So for our next posture, we're going to come into what's known as bow position. Okay. Yeah, it's a good one. Tiffany says no. No bow, no bow. Bow's a good one. Okay, so I'm not talking about like a bow on your head. All right. This is a bow, like a bow and arrow. And the movement that we do, yep, just like that, is we're going to be grabbing a hold of both of our feet at the same time as best as we can. Okay, you'll do it one by one. It'll be a little bit easier that way. And then you're going to kick your feet away from you. And that feet, moving in the opposite direction is going to create this rounding. You're going to look like the capital D. Okay, a capital D with your belly on the ground. I actually have this beautiful figurine that somebody had given me. And I'm going to show you guys. So this figurine, it actually is a position where this is camel pose. If you flip it onto its belly, that's bow. Okay, that's a really exaggerated version of bow. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to get that type of movement in our spine today. Okay, and then if she were with her head tucked under, this is bridge pose. So they're all essentially the same thing. It just depends on the direction that the belly is in. Okay, that we get that full extension of it. This actually would be a little bit more looking like the bow position. All right. My little buddy. She'll do it with us. Oh, she'll do some camel with us. There we go. You'll see how much my bow does not look like that. All right, let's go ahead and bend one knee. See if you can grab a hold of the foot. Okay. Bend the other knee. See if you can grab a hold of the foot. Okay, if this is not a posture for you, you're like, I'm not able to grab both of my feet, this is just not going to be good for my body or my spine, then come into locust pose again. Okay, locust pose. All right, that's your alternative for the posture. So grabbing a hold of both feet. Notice if your pelvis hiked up as you did that, flatten your pelvis back down to the ground. Okay, hello, kitty cat. All right, now you're gonna kick your feet into your hands. They go towards the back of the room, and you'll feel that there's going to be a lift in your chest. Yeah, good. Hopefully you didn't have a really big breakfast. Then you're going to lift your toes and your heart up towards the sky, trying to give yourself that big lift. Good. This is bow. Keep kicking back hard into your hands. Ooh, this is a good pose. Good. Opening up through the front of the body. Shoulder blades are squeezing together. Toes are lifting higher. And then exhale, lower all the way down. You can release your legs. And I like to stack my hands. You can either wag your tail side to side, or if you bend your knees with the feet sway like little windshield wipers side to side. Now we're going to attempt it one more time. We actually traditionally do our back bends in successions of 3. So we're not going to do 3 today because we're doing a lot of back bending anyways. And this is probably making Tiffany laugh and smile. You're not doing 3 instead. You're doing 2 instead of 3. All right. It's a good pose. It's a very good pose. And it's really good for your digestion and for elimination. Okay, so if you get a BM after this, you're welcome. All right. Go ahead and grab a hold of one ankle at a time. Again, if this is not the pose for you today or ever, you can always come into locust pose instead. Grabbing a hold of your feet, kick your feet away from you. Good. And then lift the toes up towards the sky, lifting your head up nice and high. Good. Reaching up. And taking those slow, deeper breaths. So you're going to have a very difficult time coming into the fullness of your in-breath. You're going to feel a lot more experience through your out-breath. That's just the shape of where our diaphragm is. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Releasing. Forehead on top of your hands. Wagging your tail side to side. And then pressing your hands into the floor. We're going to make our way into our tabletop position. So we're going to transition into our pigeon pose from our hands and knees. So I want you to slide your right knee forward to your right wrist. The foot swings across towards the left. We don't have as much space as we do from our downward facing dog, but sometimes this is nicer than just coming right from into a downward facing dog. I want your hips to sink down and back, maybe sliding back a little bit at a time. That knee is going out towards that 2 o'clock position too. Good. Hips are facing forward, and then slowly lowering down onto your elbows and forearms. You can relax your head down. And start to breathe into belly, chest, low throat. And feel a full expansion of your rib cage. And relaxing and creating some space between your teeth. So if you know that you have a tendency to clench and to bite down, and see if you can bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth and allow those teeth to separate. And then slowly pressing into your hands, we're going to lift ourselves up, lean into your right butt cheek, and then swing your left leg all the way forward for Janu Shasana, head to knee pose. So this right knee is bent. The foot is along the inside of your left leg. Left leg extends out straight out in front of you. Good. You have the option of bending this left knee, especially if your hamstring is tender or just not moving at all. All right. Inhale, the arms come up high. Lifting up tall. Exhale, folding forward. Ooh, yeah. Again, if you're noticing that there's a big gap between your belly and your thigh, bending your knee is probably going to be your best friend. Yeah. And seeing if you can bring your belly button so that it's right over your thigh. So you just kind of turn your torso enough so that you're headed towards your left leg as opposed to leaning off to the side of it. Yeah. Allow the neck to be long. You're grabbing a hold of whatever you can. If you need your strap, you can use it. The strap would wrap around your feet. You'd hold on as close to the foot as possible and then try to pull yourself in. Good. Then inhale, reach the arms forward, lift all the way up. And exhale, release the arms down. If your left leg is bent, straighten it out. Cross the right leg up and over, coming into half Lord of the Fishes pose. So this is all a lot of review that we've been doing for this practice. Okay, left arm goes up, and then left arm comes to the outside of the leg, or it wraps around that leg and you hug it in. Okay. Whatever variation you need to do. Right fingertips to the floor, lifting up tall and wrapping your heart around towards the right. Looking out of your right shoulder. Good. And then inhale, rotating your chest back around through center. Good. Now I want you to cross at your ankles and shins. Lean forward, hands on the floor, slide the knees back into tabletop. Left knee comes forward again, coming into our pigeon pose on this side. Right thigh is going to be on the floor, top of the foot is on the ground. Good. Again, that left knee is going in the direction of 10 o'clock. You're going to come down into your elbows and forearms and settle down into your hips. And just getting really heavy in the pelvis. Another 2 deep breaths here. letting go. And slowly pressing into your hands, rising up. And you're lean into your left hip. You're going to swing your right leg around, coming into our head to knee pose. So right leg goes forward. There you go. So this kind of looks like our tree pose, just only seated. Okay. And then right leg is straight out in front of you. Left knee is bent. I don't know if you can see like that. Okay. And then inhale, reaching the arms up. And then exhaling, leaning forward. Good. Again, bending that knee is extremely helpful in working into more of the belly of the muscle. So sometimes we might feel some stretch in the back of the knee. That's where the tendon is. Okay. And it's okay if we feel it a little bit in the upper hip area. Okay. But that's another attachment point, and we'd rather feel it more in the belly of the muscle. So bending the knee has a tendency to kind of put it into the belly of the muscle. So see if that helps you. And just play around with bringing your belly button on top of the thigh, kind of getting into a little bit of that low back stretch, perhaps. Good. And inhale, arms go forward, lifting all the way up. Exhale, release the arms down by your side. Lift the left knee and cross the foot to the outside of right leg. Get taller. Right arm comes up, and then bring the arm to the outside of your left leg. Let the fingertips rotate behind you. And again, I like to be on my fingertips here because I'm encouraging myself to lift up taller as opposed to leaning down and back. And if I have a flat palm, I'm not going to get that height of being able to be in that taller spine. Looking over left shoulder. Again, the name of this pose is Half Lord of the Fishes. Good. And then inhale, rotating through center and wrapping your torso to face forward. Then you're going to bring both feet out in front of you and slide your hips out. Good. Scoop the hands behind the legs and come onto your back, taking the legs with you. And then just rocking side to side, massaging out the spine. We're going to come into one more back bend. This is our bridge pose, as I mentioned before. We've done this posture once before in our practice last week. So our feet are going to be down on the ground. And I want your arms to be down by your sides, fingertips lengthening out in front of you. Feet are hips distance. And then I want you to push down through your feet and reach up with the hips, lifting through the front of the pelvis if you can, and walking your shoulders underneath. And see if you can interlace the fingers. Okay. You're going to push down to the pinky side of your arms, lifting your hips up higher. Hug those inner thighs towards each other. So you can see how this posture, if we were to grab a hold of the ankles, kind of looks like our bow pose, just on our back instead of on our belly. Okay. But because of the direction of the pose, we use different momentum and different musculature to help find that same back bend. So we're feeling a lot more of it in our glutes and our quadriceps here. Okay, it's in a different way for the quadriceps too. All right, release the shoulders, roll the spine all the way down. And make your way into happy baby. Knees go wider than the torso, grabbing a hold of ankles, shins, feet, and again, rocking your baby side to side. And coming back to stillness, bend your knees completely, draw the legs together, let the knees tip over to the right as you look out to the left. Remember to let the feet come all the way down to the earth. And then inhale the knees back up through center and exhale to the other side. And then looking out over your right fingertips. Let the feet come down to the ground. Inhale the knees up through center. Exhale, bring your forehead up to meet your knees, squeezing into a tight little ball. And then lower your head and shoulders down, releasing the feet towards the ground and then extending the legs out in front of you. Good. Set yourself up for your final resting pose, corpse or half corpse. With your half corpse, your knees are bent, feet are on the floor. You get to adjust the pelvis as necessary. Arms in a position that feel relaxing and releasing for you. And then maybe even putting the towel over your eyes as you rest your head down lightly on the mat. And take a full breath in. Open up your mouth and let out a sigh. Again, breathe in. Open up your mouth and let out a sigh. And then continue to breathe slowly. The goal of all experience is to remove whatever might keep us from being whole. The things we learn through love and pain reduce our walls and bring our inner and outer life together. And all the while, the friction of being alive erodes whatever impediments remain. But the simplest and deepest way to make who we are at one with the world is through the kinship of gratitude. Nothing brings the world of spirit and earth together more quickly. To be grateful means giving thanks for more than just the things we want, but also for the things that surmount our pride and stubbornness. Sometimes the things I've wanted and worked for, if I actually received them, would have crushed me. Sometimes just giving thanks for the mystery of it all brings everything and everyone closer. The way that suction pulls streams of water together. So take a chance and openly give thanks, even if you're not sure what for, and feel the plenitude of all that is living brush up against your heart. So as you lie here, meditate on what keeps you from knowing yourself. Breathe deeply and lower your walls with an offering of gratitude that is not attached to any one thing. Now inhale with gratitude and exhale what remains in the way. Repeat this several times throughout your day. From where you are, take a full breath in. Exhale and empty out. Inhale, fill up again. And exhale, empty out. Inhale, stretch the arms up and overhead. Reach long throughout the entire body. And exhale, release the arms back down. Draw the knees into your chest. And carefully roll over to one side. Press hands into the floor, extend your top leg, and ease your way up to a comfortable seat. And sit up tall. And bring hands together at heart center. Bow your head softly forward. I'm so grateful that I'm able to share this practice with you, that you've trusted in me to help guide you along your path. And the light within me bows to the light within you. Namaste.
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 Namaste.